Okay, in today's class, we will see black box testing versus white box testing. You can see here black box and white box testing. Okay, so what is black box testing? In black box testing, a tester doesn't have any information about the internal working of software system. Black box testing is a high level of testing that focuses on the behavior of the software. It involves testing from a external or end user perspective. Black box testing can be applied to virtually every level of software testing: unit, integration, system, and acceptance. Simply, you can see here testing is done without the knowledge of internal structure of the program. This is the black box testing. Now let's see the white box testing. So white box testing is a testing technique which checks the internal functioning of the system. In this method, testing is based on coverage of code statements, branches, paths, or you can say conditions. White box testing is considered as low level testing. It is also called glass box, transparent box, clear box, or code based testing. White box testing method assumes that the path of the logic in a unit program, or you can say program, is known, or you can say testing is done with the knowledge of internal structure of the program. This is the basic difference between the black box testing and white box testing. So now let's move to the next slide. So these are the some contents which covered one by one. First of all, definition. Then we will see alias. Alias means another name of the testing. Base of testing: usage, programming knowledge, implementation knowledge, automation. Objective: basis for test cases. Then tested by: granularity, testing method, time, algorithm test, code access, benefit, skill level, and in last we will see the drawbacks. Okay, now let's see the definition first. Black box testing, it is a type of testing, or you can say type of method, test method, in which you can use to test the software without the knowledge of the internal structure of program. So it is said that it is a testing approach which is used to test the software without the knowledge of the internal structure of the program, or you can say any application. Now comes to the white box. White box, sometimes called transparent box testing. It is a testing approach. You can say it is a testing method in which internal structure is known to the tester. Okay. Now next, Let's see the alias means another names of both testing. Black box testing, also known as data driven box testing, data and functional testing. Now comes to the white box testing. It is called structural testing, clear box testing, transparent testing, code based testing, or you can say glass box testing. Now base of testing. Black box testing is based on external expectations. Here external expectations are there in black box testing, and internal behavior of the application is known. Only you know the internal behavior means internal functioning, but you don't know the about the code, how to access the code, how the code works inside the application. In white box testing, internal working is known and the tester can test accordingly. Okay, you can say the tester knows about the developing side, or you can say code, how code works accordingly. Now next is usage and programming knowledge. Now let's see the usage in black box testing. The testing is ideal for higher levels of testing like system testing, acceptance testing. In white box testing, testing is best suited for a lower level of testing like unit testing, integration testing. Simply you can say black box testing is a higher level testing and white box testing is a low level testing, lower level you can say. Now let's see the programming knowledge, in which programming knowledge is required. Okay, in black box testing there is no need of programming knowledge. Tester doesn't know about the programming knowledge, while in white box testing there is a need of programming knowledge. Okay, you can say programming knowledge is required to perform white box testing. Implementation knowledge, automation and objective. Now let's see in which implementation knowledge is required. Okay, in black box testing, implementation knowledge is not requiring doing black box testing. Complete understanding needs to implement white box testing. Okay, there is a complete understanding needs to implement white box testing. Automation, test and programmer are dependent on each other, so it is tough to automate in black box testing. Okay, in black box testing, test and programmer are dependent on each other. Without the knowledge of the code, they are dependent. Okay, in white box testing is easy to automate, means there is no dependency between the test and the programmer. Okay, now let's see the objective. Objective: the in black box testing, the main objective is to check what functionality of the system under test. Only we will see the upper level, not the internal. While in white box testing, the main objective of white box testing is done to check the quality of the code. Okay, now let's see the basis for test cases tested by, and then granularity. Okay, basis for test cases in black box testing can start after preparing requirement specification documents. You can start testing after preparing requirement specification document. Okay, there is a need preparing requirement specification document. While in white box testing can start after preparing for detailed design document. Now tested by, okay, who tests the white box testing? Let's see who can test. It is generally black box testing perform, performed by the end user, developer, and the tester. While white box testing usually done by the tester and the developers. Okay, not the end user. Next, let's see the granularity. Which one have the highest granularity, or you can say lowest granularity? Black box testing is low granu- granularity testing, while in white box testing the granularity is high. Testing method: time, algorithm test, and code access. Okay, now let's see the testing method in the black box testing. It is based on trial and error method. Okay, you can say black box testing is based on trial and error methods, while white box testing is based on data domain and internal boundaries. Now let's see the time, which consume more time or less time. Okay, white box testing is a exhaustive and time consuming. Use exhaustive and time consuming method, while black box testing is less exhaustive and time consuming because there is a no need of the code accessing code. Okay, so it reduce the extra time taken by the code. Now let's see the algorithm test, in which we need the algorithmic test. Okay, so in black box testing there is no need of any algorithmic test, but while you are using white box testing there is a need of algorithm testing during the accessing code. Okay, during the writing the code. So now let's see the code access, in which you can access the code. In black box testing you can't access the code, while in white box testing you can access the code, or the functionality, internal functionality. Okay, now let's see the benefits and skill level. Benefit: in white in black box testing, black box testing is well suited and efficient for large code segments. You can say this is for the large code segments. White box testing allows removing the extra lines of code which can bring in hidden defects. Okay, now let's see the skill level in which the programming skills is required. Okay, so you can easily understand in black box testing there is no need of the programming knowledge of the code, writing code. Okay, so in this low black you can say in black box testing, low skill testers can test the application with no knowledge of implementation of programming language or operating system. Okay, you can see. Okay, tester knows the only higher level. Okay, not the internal. So now in white box testing there is a need of an expert tester, which can who can write the code. So you can say white box testing need an expert tester with vast experience to perform white box testing. Now let's see the drawbacks of the both testing. So first let's see the drawbacks about the black box testing. Update to automation. Test script is essential if you to modify application frequently. This is the drawback of the black box testing. Now let's see the drawbacks of the white box testing. Automated test cases can become useless if the code base is rapidly changing. Okay, this is all about the black box testing and white box testing. These are the main difference between the black box testing and white box testing. Okay, thank you for watching.